At 6:05 p.m., traffic was heavy. Rush hour in Minneapolis. Cars were bumper to bumper. Families heading home. Construction workers packing up for the day. The bridge had stood for 40 years. Engineers believed it was safe. It had been inspected, rated, approved. It wasn't supposed to fail. And then, without warning, the entire structure gave way. In less than 15 seconds, the I-35W bridge collapsed into the Mississippi River. Steel snapped. Concrete shattered. Vehicles fell 100 feet into water and debris. 13 people died. 145 were injured. And a question echoed across America. How does a modern bridge just collapse? The I-35W bridge wasn't old by American standards. Opened in 1967, it carried over 140,000 vehicles a day. It connected downtown Minneapolis to surrounding communities. For decades, it functioned without major incident. But behind the scenes, there were warning signs. Inspection reports had noted fatigue cracks, corrosion, structural concerns. In 1990, the bridge was classified as structurally deficient. That doesn't mean unsafe, but it does mean vulnerable. Still, it remained open, because thousands of American bridges carry the same classification. After the collapse, investigators searched for answers. They found something unexpected. The failure did not begin with corrosion. It did not begin with traffic overload. It began with a design decision made in the 1960s. At the heart of the bridge were steel gusset plates. These plates connect major structural beams. They are small compared to the rest of the bridge, but they hold everything together. Investigators discovered that several gusset plates were only half as thick as required. Half. This wasn't damage over time. It was a miscalculation from the original design. And for 40 years, nobody noticed. On the day of the collapse, construction crews were resurfacing the bridge. Heavy materials were stored on the deck. Gravel, equipment, machinery. The extra weight added stress to already weak gusset plates. It was like bending a paperclip repeatedly. Eventually, it snaps. At 6:05 p.m., one plate failed. Then another. Then the entire central span gave way. A chain reaction. No explosión. No warning siren. Just gravity taking over. Within minutes, rescue teams flooded the scene. Boats entered the river. Helicopters circled overhead. Some survivors were trapped in crushed cars. Others swam through debris to reach shore. Incredibly, many survived due to the angle of the collapse. The structure didn't completely invert, but the psychological impact was immediate. If a major interstate bridge could collapse, what else wasn't safe? The National Transportation Safety Board launched an investigation. Their conclusion was clear. The collapse was caused by undersized gusset plates in the original design. It wasn't terrorism. It wasn't sabotage. It wasn't neglect on that specific day. It was a hidden design flaw. And if one bridge had this issue, could others? Across the United States, over 45,000 bridges were already classified as structurally deficient. America's infrastructure was aging, maintenance budgets were shrinking, and inspection systems were often reactive, not preventative. The I-35W collapse exposed a larger issue. We assume permanence in structures that are slowly deteriorating. Modern bridges are designed with redundancy. If one component fails, others compensate. That's the theory. But redundancy only works if every component meets design standards. The gusset plates were too thin from day one. The bridge survived for decades because loads stayed within tolerance. Until they didn't, the tragedy wasn't sudden neglect. It was accumulated oversight, a tiny miscalculation amplified over 40 years. After the collapse, bridge inspections intensified nationwide. Design review standards were updated. Structural modeling became more advanced. Funding for infrastructure repair increased. Temporarily, a new bridge was constructed and opened in 2008. Stronger, wider, equipped with hundreds of sensors monitoring structural integrity in real time. Technology improved, But funding debates continued, and thousands of bridges remain aging. The I-35W collapse wasn't just an engineering failure. It was a systems failure. Design oversight, budget pressure, delayed upgrades, growing traffic demands. Infrastructure rarely fails because of one dramatic event. It fails because small problems accumulate quietly, until they can't be ignored anymore. Every day, millions of Americans cross bridges without thinking twice. We trust steel. We trust calculations. We trust inspections. Because society depends on that trust. The I-35W bridge was never supposed to fall, but it did. And it reminded an entire nation that even the strongest structures are only as reliable as the smallest piece holding them together. Somewhere tonight, another aging bridge carries thousands of cars, and most drivers won't think about it.